You're texting like Schmidt from New Girl, and it's absolutely sabotaging your dating life. What you should be texting is like Nick Miller, unhinged, absurd, with not a care in the world. Now guys, I know, because I used to be Schmidt. Yes, believe it or not, I was Schmidt. And I was the one with the thoughtful bio openers, with the overly rehearsed, polished one-liners. And it literally got me nowhere. Now contrast that with Nick Miller, who just sends the first thing that pops into his mind and somehow kills it. I mean, think about it. On the show, he literally starts off dating Jess, played by Zooey Deschanel. She leaves in like season 3, gets replaced with Megan Fox as the roommate, and then he starts dating Megan Fox. Meanwhile, both women were roommates also with Schmidt, and yet they chose Nick Miller over Schmidt. Why is that? Guys, what you have to understand is that even though Schmidt on paper looks like a perfect catch, he's got the great career, he's got the walk-in closet, he's got the abs, he's got the grooming, everything you would ever want from a physical, hardware-like perspective, he's got it all dialed in to a 10. Nick Miller, compare that to Nick Miller, who is a bartender, who has no ambition, no direction in life, probably hasn't even showered in a week, and yet somehow the ladies routinely cannot help themselves but go after and pursue Nick Miller. And that's the kind of energy you want to be bringing to the text game, both on the apps and if you're going out and meeting women at bars in the daytime and then getting their number from there, okay? That's going to make the world a difference. I would argue, honestly, that what you want to do is you want to have the hardware of Schmidt. So you want to be in good shape with a good career, all that stuff, the hobbies, the friends, the social life. But then you want to text like Nick Miller. That dichotomy is what's going to kill it, because it signals that you're not overly invested. That's what you have to understand, is that these women don't trust Schmidt because he's always acting like he has a preset agenda. He's hiding all his red flags, of which there are many. And it's not that he presents this perfectly polished version and they think he's like totally trustworthy. In fact, if anything, their alarm bells just go off. Nick Miller, totally opposite scenario. He literally reads with the red flags, she can see it for what it is, and then from there she actually feels comfortable because she knows what she's getting involved in. Let me give you an example. So I asked the Guy app, link in the description, because guys, I was like Schmidt. I was texting just like how he would. Literally, if you were to line up 10 of my best friends, they would all tell you without question, this is like a party joke we do sometimes, that Bailey's Schmidt. We all know it, okay? Now, here's something. I asked the Guy app, link in the description if you actually want to fix your text game and start texting like the catch they are, because the Guy is literally Nick Miller, okay? So I asked the Guy app to say, give me an example of what Schmidt would send on the apps, and then we'll also follow that up with an example of what Nick Miller would send on the apps. So the Guy said, Schmidt would send something like, I just got back from Santorini and my skincare routine has never been better. You look like you could keep up. And this is the Guy's analysis of that text, which I'm not gonna lie, is a similar text to probably what I was sending at some point in time. It says, it's polished, it's performing, it signals status, signals effort, signals, I'm a high value man auditioning for you. Every single thing about it says, I thought about this before I sent it. And she can feel that. The second she feels a guy crafted something for her, she knows he cares about the outcome. And a guy who cares about the outcome is a guy who needs something from her. That's the kiss of death on the apps. Now, Nick Miller would never craft anything. Nick Miller doesn't even know what Santorini is. Nick Miller opens his phone, types whatever half-baked paranoid thought entered his skull, like I don't trust fish, they breathe water, it's crazy, and hits send without rereading it. There's no strategy behind it because there's no brain, and that's why it works. She can't find the angle because there is no angle. She's just staring at a text from a man who might be in legal trouble, and somehow that's more interesting than the 40 Schmidts in her inbox who all sound like LinkedIn posts with a flirty emoji. I mean, guys, couldn't have said it any better to myself. Now, what Nick Miller would send on the apps, in contrast, would be, number 1, my landlord sued me for something I can't discuss and I think you might be working with him. 2, I owe money to everyone I know, so if you're here to collect, get in line. Number 3, a guy at my bank said I have poor judgment and then I matched with you. And then it says I deal with 1, the landlord sued me angle, because then it's so absurd, he's the entertainment, and now she has to, now the dynamic flips. She has got to follow up with him, ask him questions, see what's up with him, what's his deal, because no other guy is texting like that on the apps. So guys, what you want to copy, what you want to take away from this video is not, you don't want to start, you know, looking like you woke up from a dumpster like Nick Miller, okay? But you want to text like you're Nick Miller, like you have no preset agenda, like you have no strategy. Guys, like I've said before on this channel, when she thinks you have no game, that is the best game you could possibly have. Conversely with Schmidt, all the ladies think Schmidt has game. That's not the problem. The problem is they don't like the game. They don't like the angle. They don't like the games and the strategy he's taking. So yeah, guys, hopefully that makes sense. And listen, guys, I was Schmidt. I was the one who had to make this mindset adjustment because it was my co-founder who helped me develop the Guy app. We did it together in a partnership. He was Schmidt. I was Schmidt, he was Nick Miller. He was the one, you know, he's probably not gonna like me saying this, but it's okay. He watches every video, he's our biggest fan so far. He was the one who just goes out in public, stains on his shirt, hole in his pants, and yet somehow, if you were to compare our early 20s, he was getting way more success with the ladies than I was. It wasn't even close, quite honestly. Even though I was like, even though I was dressed like a J. Crew model and then like, going out with my overly rehearsed lines, he was cleaning up. He was getting 10 times more results than I was. And it wasn't until we finally talked through so much nonsense, he helped me with the text game, and then I started texting like Nick Miller, that I started to have way more success. And now I'm even acting like Nick Miller on the dates, which is a totally different topic. But guys, if you want to fix the text game, if you identified with what I laid out in this video of the trap of presenting yourself as overly polished on the apps and being so outcome independent and really just sabotaging yourself to where you come across like you're writing LinkedIn DMs, just formatted slightly differently for Hinge, and you want to finally start having the success that you know you're capable of on the apps. Because if you're watching this, you probably have the career down, probably are in good shape, probably have halfway decent social skills, but when it comes to the text communication, you shoot yourself in the foot. Guys, you know what to do. Free trial, link in the description. Change your text game. Just paste in a screenshot, new chat, current chat, doesn't matter, and you'll see the difference yourself. All right, that's it for me in this one. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.